We hot, we back, we live.
Good morning to
Good morning.
you.
Good morning.
To you.
Yes.
We're all in our places with sunshiny faces.
You know what? I told you my mom used to sing that in the morning.
Yeah, and what's crazy is my grandpa used to sing it, and I thought he had made it up until you told me that.
Yeah, and she used to come in. It used to be dead of winter. I remember it'd be like December 15th. And my mom would come in, good morning to you, good morning to you. And I'd be like, shut up. I don't want to go to school. I used to be hated. Like all of us, we used to have the blankets tucked over. She used to have to come rip the blankets off. I mean, God bless that woman.
Yeah,
but
seriously.
And some days it was cool. It was funny, but it was like every day she was trying to get us moved. She was trying to get us out of bed. So she did what the parent was supposed to do.
Do you want to hear another little nursery rhyme that my grandpa used to sing to me? If I was acting up, if I was pouting.
What?
I need you to like really want to hear it.
I do, because I'm going to start singing it.
Okay, are you ready? He'd go, if I was crying, he'd go, Blue jumped the rabbit, running for a solid mile. He thought he couldn't catch him, so he lay down and he cried like a child. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo.
I'm going to say it the next time you get upset with me.
Yeah.
Or have an attitude.
I love it. I can remember. And he
Boo-hoo
would
the
shake his
rabbit.
finger at me. Blue jumped the rabbit, running for a solid.
Blue junk?
Blue jumped the rabbit.
Blue jumped the rabbit. Got
running
it.
for a solid mile. He thought he couldn't catch him, so he lay down and he cried like a child. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Like feeling
I love
pitiful
that.
for yourself.
I've never heard that before, but I like that. It's cute.
Yeah. So, anyways, welcome back to another episode of
We shouldn't have a podcast, but we do. We do a dance moves today?
But we do.
We shouldn't have a podcast, but we do.
And you're listening to it. Do you think that'll be a nursery rhyme that parents sing to their kids?
Absolutely not. Maybe.
Or how they'll wake their kids up. That'd be sweet. I really like that idea.
So we can end up having the Barney doc where everyone despises us.
No, we're not a children's show, but like parents wake up and listen, and so then their kids hear it, and that's their morning nursery rhyme.
Yeah, maybe
We're gonna have to work out the ending a little better if that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Well, today's a huge day.
Today is a huge day. Why is today?
It really is a huge day.
Why is it a huge day? You tell me.
Well, first, it's so huge that I was gonna make you biscuits. Your favorite biscuits.
You are. Me, Lukey. And your family has had them. My family hasn't had them yet, but those are slowly going to become Lacey's famous biscuits.
Yeah, except I stole the recipe from whatever reel you sent me a couple months ago.
You did, but you always doctor it up. You always make it your own, which I appreciate and
Thank you.
have come to love.
Thank you. But yeah, no, today's a big day because Jack Quizzle is dropping his new website for his company brand. Why am I the one talking about this? I feel like I'm butchering this.
No, you were doing a good intro. I was letting you just lead with it. So
okay,
I was gonna follow you up and then
Fashionaire, golf enthusiast, hunk of burning love over here created some hats for his brand Butterflower Supply Co. And it's starting with hats, but there's so much more to come.
Yes.
And they drop on the website today. So if you're wondering what this beautiful setup is in front of our faces right now, these are his hats.
We took a page out of Kris Jenner's book. But no, well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It's got to be a special day if you're making biscuits. That's first and foremost. But so I think last year I started getting into golf and have always been very interested. I just never had clubs to play with because I'm absolutely massive and they don't have clubs that fit me. In doing that, I went to look for clothes and there was nothing that really like moved me, I guess, in the sense of like golf wear.
For sure.
And we just so happened to go to Korea this past year.
Yeah.
And while in Korea, we did some shopping, and one day we went to a department store, and I'm talking probably 2 football fields, like across, though. I'm saying that one floor that we went to.
Oh yeah.
And I saw Molbon Golf, which is a probably the most popular golf brand. I saw just a bunch of different things that really leaned towards like more streetwear, I guess. And I can't stand the word streetwear. I guess more contemporary.
Yeah.
And so,
that's a good word.
Yeah. So in doing that, I ended up coming back here and saying, well, why hasn't anybody have any sort of marketplace for
like broken ground there?
Yeah, broken ground there for a golfer that kind of looks like myself, you know, and it can be kind of daunting.
Hot.
This past year we went to Palm Springs, and I didn't even like how like the air of the golf course and how they treated us.
Intimidating.
It's very intimidating. Exclusive. It's not inclusive at all, and they made you feel like, oh, you've never played this before, you've never done it, and I've never felt like that stepping on a football field. Never felt like that stepping on a tennis court. Anywhere else, it's only ever been golf, and so it's been intimidating for me to even want to even learn the sport. Yeah. So I moved past that hurdle, got the clubs made, and then I went, you know what? I was like, why don't I just make stuff that
you like to wear?
I would like to wear. And so in doing that, that's where Butterflower Supply Co. came from. The name itself lends from the flowers that you can actually find on the golf course. Those yellow type of flowers are referred to as butterflower. And I think it's just a super strong name. So
I love the name.
Yeah. And so what we did is we had opened the store originally. I ended up leaving the country. I didn't like the vision at the time, and I didn't feel that it was going to lend to what I really truly wanted it to be. Now it's kind of completely done a full 180. Yeah. And we ended up doing these hats, which you can see are 2 open. So you have the Ryder Cup, which is actually in September, and then you have the Waste Management Open, which is this coming year, and then you have the PGA Tour. So we did this as more or less as an art project for our company, and to kind of just open up and kind of break ground on something new. And the reception to it has been really, really good.
Yeah, people everywhere we wear these, people ask about them.
Yeah, people ask, and they ask where they can get one. And I'm just super excited because I feel like I've always had this vision. It was always wanting to just do straight contemporary fashion. And then when I started getting into golf, I said, no, this is where I want to be, because I felt the most connected to it from a sports angle and from a fashion angle. And I think that the sport needs it, to be completely honest. I think that there's not enough people doing it, and I think the landscape is going to change in like 5 years, so hopefully I'm a part of that.
I think you will be,
so we'll see.
I think you're so talented, and I don't know, it's crazy when these things show up at our house. I can never tell if it's something you purchase online or if it's something you design. That's how good it is. You know what I mean?
Like, I appreciate that.
I'm constantly like, oh, this hat could have cost you $150, and I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Like when I look at it. But I would love to this wasn't my plan when we first decided to talk about this, but I just want to ask you a couple questions. Like, what is that noisy?
It's outside.
Oh, okay.
They're doing the lawn.
Sorry that I butchered your intro, but
you're good. I think that a lot of people see it and they ask me, what is it, from the standpoint of, because the website wasn't live yet. And so we're now on Threads. Butterflower Supply Co. is on Threads. We've created a community of like 213 people as of right now.
That's amazing.
Which, since it started till now, it's like we've been able to really have some contact and interaction with people that we probably wouldn't have had contact with Instagram and Twitter, because everything is so diluted. But with Threads, it's like people are slowly moving over there. So the more that people move over, the more people exposure hopefully we'll have. People don't understand the algorithm yet. People don't understand what's posted and what shows through. Yep. And I think that, hopefully they'll just keep it pretty much.
Yeah, but you were saying people didn't really know what
Butterflower
was.
So people didn't really know what it was, because when I say Butterflower, it could be a many of things. And so just connecting those dots now, and obviously, people now understand it's a golf brand, and people understand that we're leaning towards, and we say the modern golfer, it's contemporary wear, like things that you wouldn't necessarily see on a golf course, but I feel like you should be able to wear anything on a golf course that you feel comfortable in. You shouldn't be only confined to a polo, your dad's golf wear. I don't know how else to explain it.
Which was fine, but it's also okay if you want to, look, or what is it? Feel good, look good, feel good, play good. It's like if you have a different style, it can belong here too.
Yeah. The best example I have of that is basketball, when nobody was wearing tights, long tights underneath their shorts. And it was like, why are people wearing that? And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, well, somebody was wearing one, some people were wearing two, some people were wearing different colors, so on and so forth. And I'm just like, you should be able to have that variety. You should be able to go somewhere and shop somewhere that allows you that
to have a personality.
And I think like what it really is at the end of the day is, it wasn't even about anybody else. It was about myself and where I could go to actually pick stuff out that I really like.
Yep.
And I feel like that curated experience for me is something that I always was like, maybe I hope other people will like this. I think that I have, pretty good taste when it comes to picking out these things. And so that part of it remains to be seen, but hopefully that people will appreciate, enjoy, and love what we're curating. So I'm excited. Today the link drops on Threads at 9 a.m. Eastern. So as soon as we get off the podcast, everything will be live. So
exciting. Yeah. So exciting. I'm so proud of you. I just want to talk a little bit though about just, you said you started it and then you kind of lost vision and then you started it back up. I feel like that happens to so many people, but then they don't start back up.
Yeah. Well,
let's talk on that. Like the thought process and like what's going on in your head and like the doubts that you have, and then how you like overcome that and just go, I'm just going to do it. Because I feel like one of the compliments like we get a lot as individuals, but also as a couple, is like our willingness to take risks and just do and put ourselves out there, even though it could be embarrassing or whatever, or it could fail. And I feel like people compliment us in that way, but in the way that they feel like they couldn't do the same, but they can. If there's something that they feel passionate about. So I just wanted to talk about that.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I always think I'm very, 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 very happy I married you, because you have lit a fire under me like no other.
Can you say that again?
I knew you were going to say that. But you just lit a fire into me. Like, you've helped me understand like what I am capable of doing past a certain point. And I think we both push each other like that. I think that is like an important part of our relationship. It's not like, oh, we just wake up, oh, we're going to do this. Like, your partner has to see that vision to an extent, or you're just going to kind of be like, wait, it feels like, what am I doing? Because I always will come to you and be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Okay, sometimes I'll listen, sometimes I won't. But we're able to have that dialogue and that conversation. So I think that's the difference. And you just telling me, Jackie, I believe in this. Jackie, you should do this. Jackie, you are the person to lead us down this path. And I didn't believe you for a while. And then the more that I sat with it, looked at it, sat with it, I was like, no, she's right. No, she 100% is right. And I'm just so happy that I have you in my life and that you did that, because that was the big catalyst from us coming back from Turkey till now, pushing me to do this again, start again. And I'm just so happy that you did. And I think that, like I said, I have such a clear vision for it, that I think 5 years from now, I hope that we are having a way bigger conversation. But yeah, I mean, I would just say you were a big part of that standalone, and then me just wanting to just really be a part of the golf culture and what I see going on, what I think could be better, what I think could be improved, collaborating with other people. Yeah. All of those things just push me, and I love fashion. So it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, and like they always say, I don't know
if that answered your question or
not.
No,
it did. I was going to just co-sign that and say, like people always say, the best businesses are ones that are like filling a need of your own. Yeah. And that is like one of the main reasons I think this is so powerful, because everyone I know, male wise, either they've said it or their spouse or girlfriend has said it, where they look at you and they go, will you please help him figure out something to wear for this, or what do you, Jackie, where do you shop, or can you style him, or or can you make him this, or can we come over and look at the samples you made? Like, people come to you for advice on that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I see it on a daily basis. So then when you say, I need X, Y, and Z for this passion and this hobby of mine, and it doesn't exist, and you go out and create it, it's a no-brainer for me, because when any of our friends or anyone says, like, bro, where do you shop for golf clubs? Oh, Butterflower. Like, I make them.
Yeah.
The end. Like, it's like it filled a need that you were already filling through other people's businesses, just for different occasions other than golf.
Yeah.
And so this is just,
sure.
it's really cool. And, I think too, how do you start? Like, can we talk about that? How do you start?
Oh man, I've started, and this is the part, I've started quite a few businesses, probably trying to get things out. I'm sure my family's like, Jackie got us to follow another Instagram account. Good Lord, this man has started 25 businesses in 10 years. This man need to chill. And I think that you can get in your head a little bit and get discouraged. How do you start? You just gotta do research, to be completely honest. Like, I, started taking fashion design, like sourcing products, all these things. I've taken classes on these things. So I kind of have that. I do have that knowledge. Right. But what I think that what they didn't teach us is like how to walk down that road and make, like, we either make mistakes or make successful choices in, like, choosing a supplier, how to find fabric, the GSM of the, like the weight of the clothing, like things like that, where it's like, you wouldn't know that if you didn't do the research on it. So, I just always pay attention. I like to say I'm an observer. I have, like, watched Virgil for a long time. Like, I've talked on this podcast. I've watched other startups grow and become really, really big and do their own thing. I've had people that work in LA that, know how to source, and I've worked with my own people in New York to, like, source and get things manufactured. So it was really just a thing of, like, sitting down and doing the research and, like, just, like, feeling super frustrated at times and being like, how can I possibly pull this off? And a lot of this from doing it halfway across the world. But it was just more of like do your own research and figure things out and trial and error, and then ask questions. Like, when I started working with the manufacturer 3 years ago in New York, I was probably messaging them probably every other day. Like, what about this? What about that? And then they would tell me things that I had no idea even existed. I'm like, oh, now I can go here and do this. So, I mean, I don't know if that, again, answers your question, but it's like a lot of those things were by trial and error, and then asking questions and doing your own research. Like, with these hats, I can do certain things in my sleep, as far as, like, sourcing something, getting something made, dreaming up the idea. The idea is just putting pen to paper, and then drawing it up. But then, finding the fabric and those things, that's that middle part where it has to be cost effective. It has to make sense, and only way you do that is by asking questions.
Well, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
I've learned so much from you on all of this, on just, like, I feel like fear and just overwhelm would stop me from doing things like this. There's quite a few things that I did before, but I would stop at some point. As beyond music, like music, yes, like I would push and push and push, but for other things that I've wanted to do, whether it be interior design or just design in general, or just creating products, things like that, it felt really overwhelming, something I always dreamed of doing. But since meeting you, like, I mean, even the game, like we talk about, it just,
I was just about to say that. And I do want to say this too, is like, I feel like you as a musician or me as an athlete, I always think people look at us and go, we've been to the tippy tops, right? Like, we've been right there, like right before you cross that threshold of, and you crossed it. I'm saying I got to that very point, like right before the NBA, and I just didn't cross it, which is fine.
No,
but I just say that because I think people will always look and be like, you're good at basketball, you're good at music, you should do something in that field. And I think that we confine ourselves as humans to just be like, I'm only good at one thing. I can only sell real estate. I can only bake cookies. I can only do whatever. I don't feel like if I step into this other realm, people are gonna look at me like I'm crazy. People are gonna say that I can't make it. And it's like, we always have these conversations about Harrison Ford. Tom Ford is like my perfect example, is like one of my favorite examples. This man, and I don't encourage lying, but this man created his own brand, but went and became the creative director. I think he started off like he was an apprentice, but then didn't really have any background in it, and was telling these people, like applying for this job as the creative director, like, hey, I can do this. Hey, I can do this. Hey, I've done this project, or hey, he's worked on like 2 things. He didn't know. And he just threw himself in the fire. And it's like, if he would have ever been like, I just don't have the knowledge, or I need to go spend 5 years and do it. It's like, no, if you just do it, you will probably gonna maybe fail, but you're also gonna learn a lot from that. And then you're also gonna be able to double back and be all right, now I can execute on how I want to execute, because I know you're not gonna make that same mistake again. For sure. Especially when it costs you money at the same time. So
everything is mindset, seriously.
It's all mindset. It's all how do you perceive yourself, and what do you believe to be true? If you believe this to be true and you feel it deep down in your gut, then it's like there's nothing that anybody,
or you believe it can be true.
There's nothing anybody could say to me to be like, you need to stop doing this. Absolutely nothing. I'd be like, okay. What are you working on? What do you have? Like, what do you have going on? Like, how can I speak some life into you? How can I speak positivity into what you're doing? Because that's all I ever want to do. It's like, I feel like I'm come from that. I want to be a fixer. I want to meet a need, and I think Butterflower is that. So
good.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate that.
So good. So I guess our word for the day is don't be scared. Like, there's no fear in it. And
believe in yourself.
Yeah. Also, something I just wanted to say, because someone at Bible study said this the other day, and I really, really liked it. Yeah. Something I've struggled with over the years was feeling like, is my career, like, is it okay, or is it what I'm supposed to be doing, because it's not ministry? As a female, that like, I'm like, that's what I want to do with my life. But I also have this gift, and what do I do with it? How do I merge the two? And so on and so forth. And this topic got brought up the other day, and someone said they got really good advice that like, God is your purpose, but we all have different platforms. So like, he is your calling, but we all have different platforms in which we like are ministering. We all have different ministries, and that your life is your ministry. And we're literally, if you're a believer, you're called to ministry, all of us. And that can look a million different ways. And it's not just working at a church or preaching like in the traditional sense. It can look so many different ways. And and I just really, really like that. Like, what's your platform, in the sense of there's 100 million ones, but God is your purpose. Like, he is the reason why I would do things. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
For his glory or whatever. And so I just think that it's cool, because you don't have hats that say kingdom on them, but when people encounter you, when they meet you, when you get to tell your story, it's like you still have a platform to minister to people.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's the biggest thing. All of this is God given at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, yes, it is.
This has less to do with me and more about God really giving me the vision and the want and the hunger, because I've always felt like, and I've always told people, I think I told you this right when we first met, is like, I've never felt called to be a professional basketball player. Yeah. In the sense of like, I was always a very good athlete, and I could pick up and really play any sport I wanted to. Basketball was one of those things where I was like, I'm going to get to go to college for free. And if I stay focused enough, maybe I'll be good enough to actually, have a name in the sense. But I loved it. It was just like one of those things where I'm like, I still feel like I need to be doing more. And so with basketball, it was always just one of those things where it was like, all right, next step. next step, and was always building. And I knew that those God-given talents were, I always believe, leading me into my next phase of life. Because at some point, like they always tell you at the start, the basketball going to stop bouncing at some point.
That sounds like a One Tree Hill quote.
Maybe it was. There was a lot of coaches, a lot of people that have told me this throughout my career. The ball is going to stop bouncing at some point. How are you prepared once it stops bouncing?
Yeah.
And I think that all of these small micro things have then led to this, but it's allowed me to see how God has worked in my life. And it's like these visions and how I see things and how I put things together and how I understand that it's not like other people.
Yeah.
And I see things very differently. Sometimes I can be good. Sometimes I can be bad. Sometimes I can be delusional. Sometimes I can make a lot of sense. It just depends. But he's allowed me to put the vision together when it comes to me and it be cohesive and make sense. And I understand that is only from God. It's not from anybody else. And he loves when I do that. So this is a part of that. Yeah.
I always picture him looking at us like we look at like Lucas while he's coloring.
Yeah.
Or like when he always says he makes his inventions. Like,
yes.
And it truly is, something I think that the Lord just like enjoys about. This is just my opinion and what I think, but I think he watches us and he's like, ooh, they're creating. Like, God is the most creative thing to ever be, and he is creativity. Look what he created.
Yeah.
He created literally every facet of this earth and every facet of who we are and our inner workings and our personalities and the way we look and all the things. It's like I truly think he gets such a kick out of us being creative children. Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, like, oh, I love what he did there. Like, that's so cool. And and seeing you get excited about it, so every time Lucas will finish a color or like a picture or a worksheet or anything,
I forgot about this.
He'll make us cover our eyes, and then he comes and
close them. Put your hands. And it's not good if you do this. It's put your hands over your eyes.
Yep. And then he goes, presenting,
and he'll run away.
Yeah, presenting, and he sets it up somewhere and he runs away. And he's so proud of it, and he's so excited, and it's like, he looks at it like, this is the best thing I've ever done. And we get such a kick out of it. Yeah. We're so proud of him, and we're like loving to see how his brain's working and what colors he chose, whatever it is. And I feel like the Lord looks at us the same. Yeah. So he's really excited today too. He made biscuits this morning.
No, I'm just appreciative. I'm just thankful to have you in my life, somebody that's supporting me and not being like, what is this? Like, what do you got going on? So like I said, I just feel blessed beyond measure. What's that?
Where can they buy it?
So we will only, for right now, we will only be releasing the link on our Threads account.
Oh my!
Exclusively.
Gosh, this is exclusive. Okay, so go follow Butterflower. What y'all's tag handle?
It's Butterflower Supply Co.
On Threads. So
you can go to our Instagram account, which is Butterflower Supply Co. And the Threads is right there. You can click into it. We'll post it on
Threads exclusive. My gosh.
And so it'll be here in about the next 15 minutes.
9 a.m. Eastern.
9 a.m. Eastern time.
So we better get going. We had a whole show planned, but I just really wanted to make today
I appreciate going
on the pod.
I appreciate you went off script and it worked. So yeah,
sometimes I feel like that's the best way to do it with you, to catch you off guard with asking you about things.
No, for sure. Probably. I don't like.
So you don't overthink it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it'll be up. Like I said, I've posted on my story. People have probably seen it. It'll be exclusively on Threads. If you sign up for the actual membership on the website, you'll get 25% off of your purchase of your order, and which is a massive discount. And I feel like I want people to have these and enjoy them and wear them, and I want to create more stuff. We already have more stuff that we're already gonna probably put on the site here that we're gonna like slow roll. in, and just like really cool brands that we're working with and people that have reached out. Even for us being a small account right now, I feel like we have the most movement, or we've probably made the biggest splash as far as like somebody that everyone knows we exist. You know what I'm saying? So everyone knows we exist. They're just kind of watching us now to see.
As far as like the golf community.
As far as the golf community, not anybody else, but the golf community. As far as the fashion contemporary side of it goes, there are probably there's 20 accounts. Say there's probably 5 big ones. Obviously, Malbon being up there, being one of the biggest, and then you're like regular brands. But I mean, just from a contemporary side of people that are just looking at it a little differently, there's a couple of us. So you know, I'm excited. Cool. I'm excited to see it grow and see where this thing heads. So thank you so much for
I was literally just about to ask if you want to pray on the podcast. Wait, is that your alarm?
Yep, it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's alerting me.
Okay.
It's telling me that.
Well, let's wrap this up and let's let this be the Butterflower Supply Co. podcast that we can come back and listen to in 5 years.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm trying to rack my brain if there's anything else that I want to ask you. Am I your muse?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, you look great in all these hats. This is a unisex hat.
I should have worn one
in the grand scheme of things.
But I just blow dried my hair in case you were wondering. You didn't say anything.
I did say your hair looked great. I said you looked great today.
Okay, thanks. No, but I am going to a shoot I'm so excited about.
Yes, okay.
Shooting wedding dresses all day today.
That's awesome. Tell us more about it. Who are you shooting with? What's going on?
They're called Vowed.
Okay.
And we actually did a shoot with them together before our wedding, and then I've shot with them alone. And I just love their team. And I mean, who doesn't want to put wedding dresses on all day?
Yeah, you're a great bride.
Thank you.
Great bride.
But yeah,
very gorgeous.
I'm going to head out here soon and go shoot. And you're going to rock in them orders and just watch people love it. But thank you guys so much with Shappers. Yes. We love y'all. Thank you for letting us share our passions and our dreams with you guys and just our hearts with you guys.
The Passion Podcast.
Yes. Seriously, it's such a gift. Yeah. Like doing this with you. There's mornings where I'm like, are we going to make it through? Just it's some days you're like, what am I going to talk about? Or like,
I feel like this is how Al Roker probably felt on Good Morning America. Like when he had something that was going on and then somebody else tried to do something. He's like, God, here she goes again.
Exactly.
What day is it? Thursday. Okay, I get to get out of here on Saturday. Yeah. Shout out Al Roker.
Al Roker. All right. No, yeah, for sure. It's just, it's a gift though. And we love you guys. Thank you for those. We see that there's like a consistent like 30 of you that watch every single day.
Shout out the 30 plus club.
Yeah. And like, that's huge. Like that you care. So
seriously,
thanks. We're so thankful for this community. Please like, subscribe, comment, add to your library, all the things. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads.
Yeah. And Threads. Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks for being my co-host and
my friend. Thank you for being my co-host
and husband.
Well, thank you for being my wife.
Yeah, no worries. My name is Lacey Cavalier Carmichael.
I'm Jackie Carmichael.
And we will talk to you guys tomorrow for the last episode of season 2.
Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy.
Next time we do a podcast on a Monday, we'll be letting you know most likely what country we're going to be living in for the next 10 months.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
we'll let you know how Butterflower's going.
Yes.
But anyways, love you guys. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow morning.
All right, love you guys. Bye.
Bye.